Not off the juice, baby, but I walk in a room and I'm stumbling. Losing the noose, baby, what a man gotta do to get up in it. Cruise down Melrose at the top down in the Aston. Tight like Velcro, we can talk about all of your passions and your fashion. We could fit a drink in this space.
Thanks for tuning into my channel. I'm Anthony King. Today I'm going to talk about how women prefer a man that can articulate his words, communicate, listen, be understanding and compassionate, basically possess all the skills that make up emotional intelligence. So I'm going to jump on my Chinese e-bike. I'm going to go for a little ride and take a deeper dive into this subject that basically is about communication and solving problems in a relationship. Let's go. So one of the biggest challenges when it comes to emotional intelligence is that this is a skill that is developed over the course of your life. And a lot of it has to do with your basic upbringing of your parents and how you were taught to communicate and solve problems. But outside of your upbringing and growing up, outside of your parents, you're also learning these skills from our society. And so one of the biggest challenges in a relationship is that women are naturally looking for that man who is a leader, that possesses multiple skills, things like making money, having talents, the ability to be successful, provide security. These are extremely important qualities in a relationship. When you get into these next layers beyond providing that security and that protection, one of the biggest challenges is the communication in a relationship. And we're living in a modern world where women are taught very differently than men when it comes to managing their emotions, being able to communicate and solve problems. To give you an example of this, we have a society where when a woman is unhappy, women are being taught that they're justified in all of the things that they think and they feel, and how they conduct themselves at the point that, they're unhappy, they're angry and things like that, that this kind of justifies, how they behave, how they communicate. And so what we're really talking about is that women are demanding emotional intelligence from men, but most women don't possess the actual skills that coincide with emotional intelligence. For example, you can meet a woman that can communicate and can express her feelings really well. But as soon as she is angry, as soon as she is upset or unhappy about something, her ability to communicate goes out the window. And her emotions and society are teaching her that she doesn't have to manage her emotions, and anything that she says, is acceptable. Anything that she does, it becomes acceptable because she's upset, she's angry. And so in a relationship, if a man is unhappy, the truth is society doesn't really care, how a man is feeling. But a woman, on the other hand, if she's unhappy or if she's upset, it's the man's fault. There's no other factor. It's because of the man. And he needs to do whatever to make it right. And so in a relationship, every time there's a disagreement, the woman's right and the man is wrong. Well, as a man, how does having emotional intelligence really help you and guide you in a relationship? And the truth is, it comes to leadership that you have to not just manage your emotions and your feelings, but you've got to manage the woman's. Because at this point, rest assured that she's not going to be very good at managing her emotions. And society has kind of trained her and misled her into believing that she doesn't have to in a relationship. And so this is one of the biggest challenges now for men in relationships is that women accept no accountability for their behavior. And the reason why is because they've been continually lied to and misled by their friends, by their parents, that a lot of the things that they do are okay, it's overlooked, it's not a problem. So when you sit down in a relationship and you have a conflict, you kind of have two choices. And right now, the narrative in the West that every man is going to tell you is if your girl's unhappy, if your girl's angry, just apologize. Basically, just tell her whatever she wants to hear so that it can end and not be a bigger problem. How can a relationship ever function like this? This is like the worst advice in the world. You think that a woman's going to respect a man who doesn't even have the heart and the courage to stand up to her and tell her, no, you're wrong. And this is why you're wrong. So men have to not just manage their own feelings and their own thoughts and be good at communicating and solving problems, but they've also got to jump up and communicate to the woman and hold her accountable and tell her she has to manage her communication skills. She's got to manage her feelings. She's got to conduct herself like as a responsible adult, how you should when you're in a relationship and say that you love somebody. Getting mad and just sprouting out a bunch of anger and trying to be hurtful and all of these like negative and unhealthy behaviors, like men have to shut that down immediately. And furthermore, you have to hold them accountable because relationships like that can't even exist. That's got to be like a hard boundary. Like a woman talking to you with disrespect, a woman that never takes accountability for anything that she does in her life, that's not emotional intelligence. My experience, with these things in relationships is that in the past, I've had some of these challenging situations in a relationship, and I've had to learn from those situations and recognize my weaknesses in my own leadership. Because if you can't stand up and make a woman respect your boundaries, if you can't make a woman do her part in a relationship, the relationship is never going to work. And ultimately, a woman's never going to respect you if you don't have the ability as a leader to tell them that what they're doing is wrong, that what they're doing is unacceptable. If you can't set those kind of guidelines, like your relationship is doomed. Because essentially, if she's the only one right in a relationship and you're the one who's always in the wrong, you have no chance to be the leader of anything in that relationship. She's going to be the leader in that relationship, and she going to lead your relationship to destruction. Because when you're so weak that you're unable to stand up for yourself, If you can't stand up for yourself and you can't wear the pants in your own house, eventually she's not going to respect you, which means that the disrespect for you is only going to grow. As the disrespect grows, she's going to lose attraction for you. She's going to lose confidence in your ability as a leader to protect and provide for her. A lot of times women are constantly testing you to make sure that you're the right man to lead the relationship. And when you fail these tests, you lose her respect. She loses her confidence and her security in you, which ultimately the attraction will fade away and it will be replaced eventually with attraction for other people that are more suited to be able to lead her. No matter how empowered and independent women proclaim to be, the reality is they want a man to lead them, and they do not feel secure in a relationship. When women don't feel secure in a relationship, when they don't see you possess the ability to lead them. And that's dangerous. You have to remember that you're battling against all of the outside forces of your relationship. Women have been told forever, and they're being lied to constantly by their friends and everybody around them. Whatever they think and feel is justified. Their friends are like, yeah, girl, you look great today. You're beautiful. You're a 10. This kind of delusional, whatever girls, want to hear, that's what they tell each other. They don't tell each other the truth. In fact, I would say that most women are the worst possible friends to each other. Because if you're not telling somebody the truth, like, no, girl, don't wear those pants. You look fat. You should wear those other pants that you wear. That makes your body look a lot better. Like if we're always telling women what they want to hear, then when you sit down to discuss problems in a relationship, the reality is, as soon as you stand up and tell them what they don't want to hear, they're instantly going to be in their feelings, get defensive, get angry. You're not going to be able to communicate. You're not going to be able to solve problems because her emotions have now taken over. And now you're not dealing with anything logical or anything that has any kind of reasoning behind it. It's just all emotion. And it will only get worse from there in a conversation. Once a woman is triggered because you've told her what she doesn't want to hear, you've told her something that's going to make her feel accountable for what she's done, what she has said, yeah, the conversation's going to escalate. That I guarantee you. And that's been my experience. And that's why from the very beginning in a relationship, from the beginning, you have to set boundaries, expectations, and let them know. There are responsibilities that come with being in a relationship. Being upset, being angry, they don't give you a pass to not do your part in the relationship. Communicating and solving problems is a part of being in a relationship. You know, you got to think about something like realistically. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. This is my own personal experience. But in fact, I'll pull over for this. So when my mom got sick and I had to take care of her before she died, anybody who's gone through this, um, it's a life-changing moment. When there is no somebody's gonna get better, they're sick, they're gonna die. and now you just take care of them and you go through the process. That is a difficult situation, and uh for a man, that's brutal because we have so many other responsibilities. We can't go sit on the sidelines for 6 months while our emotions aren't in a good place. We don't have that luxury. Nobody's going to jump up and take care of us. And, you know, when you're going through this, your woman she might be there for you for a week, and listen to your feelings and all of that. But she's not going to do it for 6 months. Like, women don't have that ability and they don't have the patience. They want you to be taking care of them like that. So I had conversations where I'm talking about my mom. This is after she died. And, I'm emotional and things like that. And, the person that I was with, they're scrolling through their phone. That's how much they're just checked out. And what I want to tell you is that in your biggest crisis, women don't have the compassion and the ability to be empathetic and to be understanding and to listen to you. They don't have that patience and that maturity a lot of times because this is emotional maturity. And if the roles were reversed and her parents were sick, what you need to understand is that not only would I have to be there for her, not only would I have to financially help in every way possible to support her and her parents, but then after they passed, if she needed to take time off of work, if she just was feeling too down and didn't want to cook or clean, go to work or make love, like those things would be acceptable. And so what I'm telling you from what I've learned in relationships, from my own experience and also from studying relationships, is that you have to make the other person do their part in the relationship. A relationship is a responsibility and it's a commitment. You don't get to reap the benefits of the relationship if you don't do your part. So as a man, you have to hold yourself accountable for the way that you communicate, manage your emotions, your feelings, and how you solve problems. But at the same time, you have to do the same thing for her and hold her accountable and make her do her part in the relationship. Because a lot of women these days, they're not willing to do their part. In fact, they feel that they can get away with not doing their part and still reap the benefits from the relationship. So when women are talking about that they want men with emotional intelligence, here's the problem with that. Most women are not emotional intelligent. Like they're lacking that ability, but yet expecting it from a man. So my advice, you need to work on learning to communicate, work on solving problems, learn to talk about your feelings and try to develop these skills because in a relationship, you're going to need these skills, not just to make your relationship successful, but also to hold the woman accountable for what she's doing in the relationship or what she's not doing. And if you do this, then you can set hard boundaries and let her know that you're not going to accept it. If she's not willing to do her part in the relationship, then the relationship can't continue. These are hard set boundaries, but this is what it takes to have a successful relationship. So on that note, leave a comment. Tell me what your experiences have been with communicating, solving problems in relationships. What type of experiences have you had from women in your relationships? Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. Until next time, keep building, keep grinding. Peace.
Straight to the jeweler from the bank, black boy. I can get you anything you need if you ask for it. See, I don't wanna be what you could have said. For take that chance, little mama. Spin around, drop to your dance, little mama. Bottle in the booth, get the check, get aroma.